Welcome back to A Celtic State of Mind. I'm Paul John Dykes, and today I am delighted to be joined by Stevie Mullen for a wee wander around paradise. It's been a while since you were on Acsom, Stevie. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Paul John. Thanks for inviting me back on. I think first things first, the justice for the 97 for the victims at Hillsborough. 35 years to the day, and God bless them all.
Every single one of them in the fight has been, something that I think is inspirational, Stevie. We did a few interviews a few years back with Professor Phil Scratton, and his book, The Truth, is for me absolutely, for me, any Celtic fan, any football fan, any member of society should pick that up and read it. Incredible, and it was incredible at the time, wasn't it, when Liverpool were invited up here to play their first game after the tragedy at Celtic Park?
It was at that game, it was absolutely emotion. I really want to recover that. It was a terribly emotional day, and it was the first game Liverpool had played since that disaster. They set them on the road to recovery.
Yeah, it certainly did, Stevie. And we're talking about roads to recovery. Celtic are on the road to recovery, aren't they? I mean, sitting pretty at the top of the league, 4 points ahead of the challengers. What did you make of the weekend?
I thought it was brilliant. I thought it went on. A wee bit surprised that nobody has made so much of the weather conditions that we've had to play in 2 weeks. If you play football, you can play in the rain, you can play in soft pitches, heavy pitches, you cannot play in wind. And I think we've been absolutely outstanding how we've dealt with that. The big thing that, again, nobody has talked about, the pressure. 8 big clubs in the UK over the weekend, all under pressure. Scottish Premier League, English Premier League and English Championship, only 2 clubs won, Celtic and Manchester City.
Yeah.
The other 6 buckled under the pressure.
You're 100% right. I call Brendan Rodgers a mentality monster, Stevie, because I think this type of scenario is something he's very comfortable with, and he spoke about that going into the game. He spoke about the fact that Celtic come alive at this stage of the season. I think it's going to be huge.
We'll have great players, and when they come to the fore, which again, the fans were nervous on Saturday, and then at half time when we come back out, wee bit of composure and our big players stepped up and ended up a very comfortable victory against a St Mirren team that were part of the Spartans. To such an extent, their manager in the second half told their goalkeeper to go down. He went down, nobody bothered, and he just told him to up again. So we need to do our job, and thankfully we're doing it in the right manner just now.
One thing you mentioned, Stevie, was how to deal with the adverse weather conditions and how difficult it is to deal with them, but it's also difficult to deal with a situation when you never have your full strength squad available. And at the weekend, Maeda was out again, and so was Liam Scales. But I think, again, Brendan Rodgers just dealt with it, didn't he? What did you make of the central defensive partnership of Naboshki and CCV?
I'd be looking forward to seeing Morocco playing with CCV, because it hadn't happened up to now, and it was good to see him. I thought he looked pretty composed, maybe just a wee bit slow and put himself under pressure, but overall I thought he was good. I like how he puts the ball in the middle of the park a lot quicker than Liam Scales, and the moves start a wee bit fluidity. Great. I think Maeda will be more of a miss against Rangers, because I think he's got inside Tavernier's head.
Yeah.
The other games, they're all packed back, there's no so much space behind them, but I think we'll overcome it.
When we're talking about mentality, Stevie, and going into the big games, like the next 5 games are massive, the Rangers game in particular, do you go to the experience guys like James Forrest? I know he done well when he came on. Brendan Rodgers has spoken about him and said, though, with a caveat, his age stops him from starting many games. It seems at the moment we've only ever got one winger on form. Do you bring somebody like James Forrest back into the fray?
From what I've seen from the guys who would back up, if it was me and I was picking the team and everybody's fit, it would always be Maeda and Kuhn. I'm really a fan of Kuhn. I don't know if James Forrest could play wide on the left, because I don't think any of the other guys who have been given that position have really covered themselves in glory. They're automatic starters.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he would have to come into the mix.
Well, I think that when you're looking at mentality, he's a guy that's been through this. He knows how to get it over the line. And I want to keep going back to that, Stevie, because you go into Sunday and, and the media would have you believe that it's almost a foregone conclusion that Rangers will win their couple of games that they had in hand. They'll go back into the top of the league. Celtic will need to win at Celtic Park. But it's not as easy as that. And that's when the mentality shines through again, Stevie. And the way not only that you win, but the way that you lose. How much did you enjoy yesterday?
I think the mentality played a big part, not even so much from Celtic's point of view, but from Rangers.
Yeah.
I think Rangers celebrated winning the league last Sunday against Celtic. I think they had a huge hangover going into yesterday's game for them.
Yeah.
Where they just thought they had to turn up. That doesn't happen in Scottish football. Doesn't matter who you're playing, top or bottom. These guys have got some good players.
When you look back at the goals from the unique angle, Stevie, you look at the part played by Carter Vickers, Alistair Johnston onto Kuhn, and the moves are starting definitely from the back. But we've been missing that this season, haven't we?
Yep, I thought on Saturday particularly, I thought everything of positive nature came down the right-hand side of the park. I thought the left-hand side of the park was pretty poor on Saturday. And then if, say, even when Palmer that come on, nothing great. But the other side, quality Alistair Johnston's ball for Kyogo's goals, absolutely sensational. It's him that puts the ball in for Hatate. Aye, very, very good. Adam Ida as well come on and contributed.
What do you think of Adam Ida? Because I was looking at a stat at the weekend that since he's come into the Celtic side, he has created or scored a goal every 65 minutes. I mean, is he a player that you're thinking in the pre-season, we make efforts to make that deal permanent?
I would be concerned about it if it's the money for him and Bernardo. Last year we bought Carter Vickers and Jota for £6 million. We went right into the team and improved it immediately. The new would be paying £6 million for two guys showing certain standards. Do we have that money to spend on guys who are not going to improve the team?
Because they're not 100% in the starting 11 every week, Stevie. But one guy who could be, as of next week, is the captain, Callum McGregor. Where does he fit in? Because the midfield's doing okay. Is he just a replacement for Iwata?
For me, Callum McGregor plays, Iwata drops out. I think Iwata's done okay. I don't think he's been great. I think he's done okay. But if Callum McGregor's fit and ready to play, he has to get into that position, in my opinion.
What do you think? Let us know who plays on the left-hand side when we face Aberdeen. Does Callum McGregor come back into the team? Do we sign Adam Ida on a permanent deal and Paulo Bernardo as well? And what about all the furore around playing games, Stevie, and waterlogged pitches and the blame game and all this? Does this fit into the mentality question again, do you think?
I don't think we'd be caught up in it. I think we'd be professional and give our clubs the respect they deserve. Dundee don't dictate the weather. 35% increase in rainfall this year. That's no Dundee's fault. Now, could they do something else apart? Probably. But it's not their fault that the game's called off.
Definitely not. We always look also, Stevie, what else Acsom has been up to. And in 2 weeks' time, we are going to be joined once again by the blessed Martin O'Neill. There are 5 tickets available. Ticket link is underneath this video.
If I could butt into that and say, if anybody hasn't been to see Martin O'Neill with yourself, get yourself along. It's fantastic. He's a marvellous, marvellous human being, and what a guy to listen to.
He's absolutely brilliant. Stevie Mullen, of course, and I were involved in the St Roch Centenary game. We did a few wonders around paradise up at James McGrory Park. We're back to our normal venue here at Celtic Park, and hopefully we'll be seeing more of Stevie Mullen as the weeks come in towards the end of this season. All that's left for me to say is thank you, Stevie, and join us again tomorrow at 12:30 on A Celtic State of Mind.